Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's get into this movie. So this movie's not good. A lot of people probably suspected that because how Netflix released it. Basically, Netflix dropped a trailer and a poster for this movie 2 weeks before this damn movie came out. And they usually try to make it 3 weeks, but this one was just kind of dropped, no warning, and, well, it wasn't very good. This was actually originally slated to go to the theaters, and you can tell a few reasons why it didn't. First of all, the length of this movie. This movie is an hour and 20 minutes, or 23 minutes. So it's not even it's not even an hour and a half. This movie is the bare minimum of length a movie can be, basically. Also, horror movies do well in theaters, but this movie specifically is very similar to another Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel that didn't work out. And I think the studio realized that because that sequel didn't work out, this one wasn't going to work out. Basically, the other sequel, I don't remember which one it was. I haven't been a while since I watched all of them, but basically that sequel was the sequel where it was basically the same movie almost. It was years later, and then people come back and they fight Leatherface. Kind of very much in the vein of that new Halloween movie, but not exactly because it came before that new Halloween movie. So this movie, it's just not good. This movie was bad. I think the biggest issue with this movie is, the movie is just like a very generic slasher. I mean, as I mentioned, it's very similar to another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, so that's nothing new here. It's just nothing. It doesn't really offer anything new to this genre of movies, and it's just like whatever. It doesn't advance the franchise in any way. It just kind of is Leatherface in this town killing teenagers who are not very smart. They're like, you've probably seen the scene in the trailer where they're on a bus and they're like, don't move forward or you're going to get canceled. That scene is literally kids on a bus with Leatherface, and and nobody runs to the other side of the bus or tries to stop him. No, they just sit there like dumbasses and film it. So Leatherface obviously murders them all. You know? Like, scenes like that are just like, I get it. Slasher movies. People make dumb decisions. I get it. But this is like absurdly ridiculous. This is cartoonishly ridiculous. This is just dumb. You know? I did like how this movie looked. It had a really gringy, dark feel to it, and that's kind of like what I imagine a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie to look like, you know, because that's how the original felt. This one feels like that. So I like that aspect to this movie. It was disposable nonsense, okay? So, like, if you really are someone like me who likes shitty horror movies, like, you can watch all the Friday the 13th sequels. I mean all of them, right? And have a good time. Go for it. This movie will entertain you somewhat, but this movie is still bad at the end of the day. And it has a post-credit scene. It's trying to set up a sequel. I hope if we get one, it's better than this one, but most likely it won't, because that's not usually how these things work. But this movie was bad, and it's unfortunate because, you know, I think that right now, you know, everyone's like, oh, Halloween revives the slasher genre, the new Halloween, the 2018 Halloween. But it really didn't, because, you know, we got this movie as a revitalization of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which probably isn't going to work out. We still don't have a Friday the 13th reboot or a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot continuing those franchises, right? So we're just kind of like, I don't know. The only slasher that I can think out about that's come out recently is, well, this and the 2 Halloween movies we got. And so I don't think it really did, but maybe that's just me.